Destiny 2 Frontiers is set to release in 3 months from now, and we know almost nothing about it. In today's video, we're going to talk about various different leaks that we have found. So this is a spoiler warning. If you don't want to hear about any of this stuff, feel free to click off now, but I'm assuming that you do, considering that you're here. Now, on top of that, we will also talk about the likely delay of Frontiers, because the timeline right now is pretty tight. We've never seen such a short window. Maybe Bungie's trying to keep everything under wraps, and they're actually doing a pretty good job, for the most part, keeping things under wraps. Let's jump into the leaks that we know as of right now, though. So this one comes to us from Liz from D2 Leaks. Now, this leak is several months old, and a lot of people thought that this wouldn't be how the narrative would turn out, especially with what we were seeing from episode Heresy. But now, due to the sort of anticlimactic ending to Heresy's narrative, a lot of people are leaning back into this actually being an accurate representation of what Frontiers is trying to bring to Destiny 2, the franchise. So if you don't know, we were kind of thinking that we were going to take Oryx's ship, the Dreadnought, and use that to leave Sol, our solar system, right? That seemed like a natural progression of where things were going. But now we have Act 3 ending, and that's not the case that we've been talking about at all. There could be a potential hidden epilogue going live soon. Right now we have like 4 dead weeks from now until Rite of the Nine. Maybe Bungie is hiding a secret epilogue where we do in fact decide to take Oryx's ship, the Dreadnought, and, you know, zip out of here, right? I think there's a chance that that could happen. If it doesn't, though, it would be even more likely that these leaks, which are, again, several months old, could be accurate. So let's jump into what Liz from D2 Leaks had to say. They said, in regards to Frontiers, a pre-Golden Age train crashes into the city somewhere. Only half of it, though, as it came through a portal. Some dude on it named Lodi, somewhere on said train or on him, is a calling card for the IX. We track the location of the portal's origins, which takes us to the new destination. I've been told that the name is Kepler, although I assume it was supposed to be Kepler. My personal guess is that this is a placeholder name, as Kepler planets are very generic in naming due to the telescope used. Upon finding the other half of this train, there's another character there who has left the Nine. This planet's time is all messed up. Seems like Vex and Fallen will be enemies here. Vex seeing as time is kind of their thing. Apparently we were brought here because of some sort of incident with the Nine. So a lot of this is tying into the Nine, and I'm not sure if, you know, the activity, the Rite of the Nine, has to do with that. I'm not sure if you could create a correlation between the two, but we obviously are going through the Rite of the Nine in several weeks. We know that. We obviously are going to Frontiers. So these two strands being kind of connected together would make a lot of sense, narratively speaking. And we'll have to see it. Maybe if we even string together the elements of taking Oryx's Dreadnought all into one, right? The next part reads, since the story is non-linear, there's multiple things happening which you can partake in, which is an interesting approach for Bungie, and I think that that creates a cool element. We'll have to see what the story feels like with that. One of the story focuses is on Osiris and the person we find on the train in the new destination. One of the fallen houses on this planet seem to be the main antagonist. Ikora investigates the Lodi guy we found on the train. The next point says something to do with the Drifter and his ship. And lastly, apparently it's a Vex raid due to them being there. So that is the sort of narrative that we have leaked to us in regards to Frontiers at this point in time. Up in the top left corner there, that's just one of the Iron Banner weapons that we found. That was from the Bungie Leaks Discord. If you want to stay up to date on all the leak stuff, feel free to hop over there. We're going to keep a tight eye on all leaks and all things Frontier on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications. Lastly, I do want to talk about Frontiers potentially being delayed. Paul Tassi has just made an article where he talks about Frontiers being delayed and just how long will it be delayed. So here this is. Look, I hope I'm wrong about this, but at this point, with Destiny 2's Heresy ending and attention turned toward the new Frontiers era of the game, I'm wondering just how much is going to be delayed past its stated release window. So at this point in time, we are just a few months away from Tears coming out, and normally we have a massive window of time to pre-order for big expansions like this. So this would be a really, really tight window. I don't think that Frontiers is going to arrive on its scheduled time right now. I think there's going to be a delay. The next part he goes on to say is, I was complaining a bit after the finale that Heresy did not seem to paint anything resembling a clear path towards Frontiers narratively. I strongly agree with this. But past that, it's more about what we haven't seen from Frontiers so far, and that is almost anything at all. Like, we're literally out here searching high and low for leaks just to figure out something with this. We have some concept art, we have a conceptual roadmap with codenamed expansions, and a few minor blog posts about coming changes. I do understand that Bungie does not currently want to step on marathon stuff, with a big reveal coming this Saturday, but the supposed release date for Frontiers is just 3 months away, July 15th, according to when the current Battle Pass ends, and weirdly, possibly a clue in the Marathon ARG, which is an interesting added tidbit there. Is it possible, though? I went back and checked, and there was just a widely larger window between reveal pre-orders and the release of past extensions. This is a great point here. Most of which were delayed a number of months. That includes the likes of the Final Shape, which could be pre-ordered in May of 2023 before a June 2024 release. And the Witch Queen could be pre-ordered August 2021 before a February 2022 release. So there's always a huge window of time, at least, 6 months to be able to pre-order these larger expansions. And so right now we're at a 3-month window. We still don't know anything about it, and it's looking very weird. Bungie's timeline is strange. Maybe they're trying to keep everything under wraps, so let's see here. Again, I get the current marathon buzz, but having this little info, no pre-orders, and not even pricing or a name for the first Frontiers expansion, allegedly 3 months before release, does not indicate to me that this is actually going to be released in 3 months. If this ages poorly, great, I hope it does. And I feel the same way. If Marathon does, or if, I'm conflating Marathon and Frontiers now. If Frontiers does arrive on time, I would be ecstatic. I want it to arrive on time. I want it to be delivered in a great way, but the delay is going to be unfortunate, and I want to know if there is going to be a delay, how long that's going to be. It'd be interesting to know. I wonder if we'll come back to our regularly scheduled September releases like we had throughout the first half of this Destiny decade, right? From Destiny 1, everything was in September until things got delayed a little bit and pushed back. Maybe we'll come full circle and we'll be back to September now. There are 2 factors to consider here, he goes on to say. The first is that Frontiers is an entirely new era of the game, and Bungie may want to keep that under wraps. That's a good point. Though I would argue previously, they have not cared about keeping huge expansion plot points secret between Cade's death in Forsaken and showcasing the Final Shape in a way that made the storylines of the year before it somewhat irrelevant. So it wouldn't be the first time. Like, they can reveal what Frontiers is without ruining the excitement for Frontiers. In fact, not only that, they can build excitement for Destiny 2 by showing us how epic Frontiers is meant to be, like how hard they've worked on it and the direction they're taking, how much new and interesting things are going to be added to the game. So I don't think that playing their cards close to their chest here on this one and keeping things secretive is actually helpful for them. I think it would be better to spill the beans, let us see what Frontiers is, and hope and pray that they're cooking up something really good and really exciting. The second is what everyone in the industry is stressed out about, the GTA 6 release date. Now, this is an interesting point. Allegedly coming this fall, I still have my doubts. So if Frontiers and Apollo has to be delayed until fall, we wouldn't know when in the fall, probably until GTA 6 is announced, as no one wants to be anywhere near that atom bomb, which is a very good point. Bungie might be waiting for GTA 6 to announce their release date so that they can schedule around it. And the reason why is because GTA 6 is going to be such a successful game, and it's going to absorb all the attention. It's going to suck all the air out of the room for gaming for a pretty substantial period of time. So it's good to, if you're going to launch Frontiers, definitely don't launch it on the same week as GTA 6. If anything, launch in a time window at least a month or so earlier or after, right? You need to at least give it some leeway here, so that way you don't lose so much, because clearly a lot of people are going to be jumping on the GTA 6 bandwagon and enjoying it, and rightly so, because they've obviously put a ton of developmental effort into this. This game has been in the works for a long time, and people can't wait to get their hands on it. Given where we are now, what we don't know, and Bungie's past history of delaying expansions, they've done this many times, I don't think this is making it out in July, or maybe even summer. Also, while the Destiny team is separate, it's still clear that the studio is gearing up for a massive marathon push at the same time. I just don't see how this comes together in 3 months. So that was from Paul Tassi on Forbes, and I agree with that. I think the Frontiers is going to be delayed. We'll have to see what the narrative is. Like I said, we're going to keep very close eyes on all leaks and everything Frontiers related, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.